Hi, this is Ash from Binagov over here, and today we are going to learn about Ansible. So, what is Ansible? Like, Ansible is an open source automation tool used for configuration management, application deployment, and task automation. So, from one of the main benefits of Ansible over its competitors like Chef, Salt, and Puppet is that it is agentless. It does not uh, it does not require any meaning that you don't have to install anything on the remote servers you want to configure. It allows users to automate repetitive tasks and streamline complex workflows. Uh, for example, there are like one or two machines, or if you want to restart a service, let's say 5 times throughout the process. So you can use Ansible. Ansible ensures that tasks are idempotent, meaning that you can run it multiple times without causing unintended changes to the system. Ansible also helps in inventory management, like you can group your host and manage their configuration. For example, there may be multiple DB servers or multiple some servers will be there, and you can group them in the inventory file. It also supports like various inventory sources, including static, dynamics, inventory scripts, and cloud providers. So let's see how it works. So there'll be one server over here, which will be a service like you want to install a particular service. Let's say, for example, red service on these servers, and let's say a blue service on this server. So the line indicates a group. No, just for an example sake, I put it as a group. Okay. So this server, which is over here, will contain your an inventory file. Okay. It will contain an inventory file which will contain like the uh, IP addresses of like these servers. So this inventory file will contain uh, groups. So group blue, for example, I'm telling like it will categorize different servers which you want. You can mention it in a single way, or you can mention it in terms of groups. Uh, it will contain like this group and whatever end servers you want to connect. Then it will contain playbooks. Playbooks contain the state which you want your remote servers in that state. So it will contain like whatever configurations you want. This playbook file you can configure all these sets. This whole group you can configure, or you can configure a single machine, whatever you want. And the main advantage here is that you don't have to install any agent to install these configurations on it. You use SSH for it, and this is why it makes Ansible like very popular. Now, before what happened, we have to take if you wanted a particular configuration for like say let's say 10 machines, you have to. So before what you have to do is that let's say this is a configuration which I want in all these three servers. So I have to take an AMI of it, of this image with the same services, and then I have to launch it separately for these other servers. And what happened is like if I created AMI, this AMI, uh, this AMI will be stuck in the same state as of now. Like let's say I install it in January, and same versions of this, like let's say we have service 1, so let's say we have service 1, service 2, service 3. Their versions would be the same state as January, 2024. And in future, if there is an you want to update and all, that used to create a problem. So with these tools, you can just run it again one more time, and then it will configure it. Just run this by just changing the playbooks with the latest software version, and it will update all this remote thing to your new version. So new version of your service, it will update the remote servers to the latest version of the services available. Run this from the main Ansible server, or you can launch from your host Ansible machine. Host Ansible machine means your laptop. To install Ansible on your host machine, uh, unfortunately there is like no easy way to install Ansible on Windows. So I would suggest you to use a VM. I would suggest you to launch a Ubuntu virtual machine using Vagrant and Oracle VirtualBox if you are using Windows. Or you can do is like dual boot. You can, if there are two drives on your system, you can use one drive for Ubuntu and one for Windows. Okay, which I normally do. So I'll tell you how what will be the basic setup. So in the last video I showed you a master node on which we will install Ansible. Sorry. We are going to install Ansible on it, and we'll configure. Wait a second. We'll configure these remote machines which are running on AWS. I'm not using VMs uh, because mostly now if you are doing it on AWS, it will be a good practice for you. So I'll be using AWS EC2 machines, and I'll be using Ansible on my host laptop to configure this EC2 machines on AWS. Okay, so uh, there is Ansible in the apt repository. Catch policy Ansible. Okay, so you can install Ansible uh, using app package manager. So I'm using uh, Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu Linux distro. So let's type sudo apt install Ansible. Let's wait for the installation. Okay, let's see. What's okay? So Ansible is installed, right?